जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णां जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः।
The Gospel of the Holy Mother, Sri Sharada Devi. Reminiscences and Conversations recorded by Swami Arupananda. Place Udbodhan. 1st May 1912. In the forenoon, I went upstairs to read letters to the Holy Mother. Disciple. The daughter of a devotee has written from her father-in-law's place that she would like to come here to see you. She has sent you her salutations. She has further requested you to be careful so that her husband's relatives might not know about her writing to you. Mother, then do not write any reply to her. She wants me to conceal it from her relatives. I don't know such a game of hide and seek. At Jairambati, Jogendra, the postman used to write letters for me. Many complained, saying, "Does the postman see our letters?" They did not like my asking a man in humble position to write my letters for them. Why? There is no deceit in me. Anybody who likes may see my letters. Another devotee inquired as to when the Holy Mother would return to Jairambati. I asked her, "May I tell the devotee that you will return there in autumn at the time of the Jagadatri Puja?" Mother, "Oh, no, no. Can one be sure of it? As to where I shall be, that remains entirely in the hands of God. Today man is, and tomorrow he is not." Arupananda. Oh, Mother, why should you talk like that? It is because you are alive that so many people are able to see you and get peace of mind. Mother. Yes, that is true. Disciple. Please do remain for our sake. In a tender voice, choked with emotion, she said, "Alas, how fond they are of me. I am also very fond of them." After a little pause, she said to the disciple in a most compassionate voice, "My child, I bless you from my heart that you live long, attain devotion, and enjoy peace. Peace is the principal thing. One needs peace alone." The Holy Mother's eyes were moist with tears. The disciple was fanning her, and the conversation continued. Arupananda. Mother, one idea crops up in my mind constantly. Why do I not get the vision of the Master? As he is our very own, why does not he reveal himself to us? Can't he do so by his mere will? Mother, that is true. Who can say why he does not reveal himself when you suffer from so many miseries and sorrows? Where indeed will man be if God does not protect him in his trouble? Disciple. I know sorrows and sufferings are inevitable so long as a man lives in the physical body. I do not ask the Master to remove the sufferings, but can't he console us by revealing himself to us in the midst of our troubles and sorrows? Mother, you are right, my child. I used to ask to the Master of such things, and he would say, "I have millions of them. I shall cut my goat at the tail or through the back, and then kill it. It is my sweet will. Arupananda, does he not see our suffering? Mother, but he has so many like you. He used to tell me, it is the ocean of consciousness and bliss. How many waves crop up and disappear. There is no end, no limit. Disciple, a man in the street whose spiritual consciousness has not been awakened at all is quite happy. But those whose consciousness has been partially awakened and who want to realize God suffer a great deal if they do not see Him. They alone know how much they suffer. Mother, how true it is. Ordinary people are quite happy. They eat, drink, and make merry. The devotees alone know no end of suffering. Arupananda, don't you suffer at the suffering of the devotees? Mother, why should I? He who has created the world looks after all. Disciple, don't you want to come back to this earth in a human form for the sake of the devotees? Mother, such suffering in a human body? No more, no more. May I not be born again? At the time of his illness, the Master told me, I am being subjected to all the sufferings that there can be. None of you need have it again. I have taken upon myself the miseries of the whole world. After a little pause, the Holy Mother continues. The Master's disease was due to taking upon himself the sins of Girish. All our sufferings are on this earth. Is there anything elsewhere? People suffer from endless miseries on account of their egoism. And at last they say, not I, it is thou, O God, it is thou. Arupananda, will you keep us in your mind hereafter? Mother, perhaps not. When I enjoy divine bliss after my passing away, my child, time alone is the principal thing. Who knows what will happen in course of time? Disciple, true. Mother, everything no doubt happens under the dominance of time. But there is also a subduer of time. Mother, yes, that is true. Arupananda, Mother, please keep yourself well, then everything will be all right. It was 8 o'clock. The mother asked, is it 8 o'clock? Perhaps it is. It is time for worship in the shrine room. Let me go now. Later, I went upstairs with her mail. One of her disciples had passed away at Benares. The mother heard the news and remarked, all must die someday. Instead of dying in a pool or on the bank of a lake, he has died in Benares. The brothers of the Holy Mother had written to her asking for money and telling about their family quarrels. I said to her, please see that they get plenty of money. Please tell the Master about it. Let them enjoy the material life and come to satiety. Mother, will they ever be satiated? Nothing can satisfy them. No, not even if they have plenty. Are the worldly people ever satiated with enjoyments? Disciple, Mother, why were you born in that family? Mother, why not? My father and mother were very good people. My father was a great devotee of Rama. He had unswerving devotion to the ideal of a Brahmin's life. He could not accept gifts indiscriminately. My father was so simple and humble.
यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया सर्वविद्या स्वरूपां ताम्